Hello and welcome back to Crusader Chronicles, where we'll be role-playing our way through Crusader Kings 3. So in this video, I just wanted to go through some of the mods that I use for this playthrough and most of my playthroughs, specifically the More Game Rules mod, because it's quite comprehensive and has a lot of options. So here's our family here from the game that I'm currently playing. It's pretty funny that the baby is sitting on the floor there, but we won't bother them for now. I'm just going to go into new game, just so I can look at the game rules. I guess I could, no, I can't get to them from here, so I'm going to go new game. And I'm not really fussed about any of this, I just want to go down here to game rules. Okay, perfect. So again, I am using a mod called More Game Rules that I'll link in the description, as well as a few more. So for this playthrough, I had a preset that I was using, Shattered Random Rulers, which shatters the world into duchies and which randomizes all the characters. This is something that I like to do for just immersion, I guess. I love that the world is kind of a blank slate and the game kind of progresses from there. So I guess I'll start at the top and just briefly go through some of these. A lot of them I don't change, as you can see. Most of them are default. I do like to set Exclave Independence to significant AI only, which it says rulers at peace will be removed on succession unless connected via a naval path or de jure territory. So what this does is really just stop characters from owning land all over the place, little pieces in random parts of the world, also known as border gore. So it just gets kind of wacky and immersion breaking, so I set it to max here to keep everyone having clean borders and their realms are kind of self-contained. Other than me, I guess. That's just the AI. Rules for thee, but not for me. So, okay, let's keep going. Most of these are default. I do turn off the Mongol invasion just because I've split everyone up. So I think that if the Mongols invaded, they would pretty much steamroll a bunch of dukes. So I don't want that. I turn it off. Diplomatic range, this is another thing I turn to restricted for immersion purposes. I just think that it makes more sense for the characters to interact fairly locally as opposed to like across Europe. Okay. De jure requirements, I also turn this on limited. So if a character holds a title but no land within that title gets destroyed. It just makes more sense again than having characters holding titles all over the place that they don't hold any land for. Okay, this is all pretty much default. So random ruler placement, I think this is a base game rule, so I keep that off. And I use the more game rule options, which will come further down. You'll see that it says MGR like up here. So I've set the Hungarian migration to player only as well. Again, just because I've sort of split the world in little pieces. Not really sure what will happen if I kept it on. And same thing, Scandinavian adventurers, I think they would overwhelm everyone if they were a duke, so I just set them to occasional to lessen the impact a little bit. Community flavor pack, this is another mod that I'm using. It has a lot more costuming options, and some of them are full plate armor. I do like to see the characters' faces, so I keep their faces exposed. So default, the barbershop. So full screen barbershop is another mod that I use. Um, it makes it easier to take pictures of your characters or see them up close, change their hair and their costume, I guess. So yeah, I like using that. Keep that on. Enclosed helmets, again, are off. Kind of goes together with exposed faces. These are all defaults. I think we're getting into the new patch items relating to culture. I just kept them default. And artifacts as well as part of the new patch. Kept that at default. So now we're getting into more game rules, some of the additional options. I'm mostly keeping them default. I don't really want to change the settings too dramatically. Yeah, these are all default. There's a lot of different options. You can really change things a lot. I really want primarily the base game experience. I just like this sort of battle royale element of everyone being a duke to start out. Okay, so these are two things that I do change, again, for immersion, seduction, and murder. I find in the base game, the AI tends to go a little crazy with both of these, so I like to tone it down a little bit. So realistic seduction would be that the AI is going to take into account opinion and character traits before it decides to cheat on its spouse. Married couples are generally faithful to each other. And then murder as well. Only characters that have intrigue-related character traits or intrigue education will stoop to murder. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense if they're, a very noble character and they're running around murdering people. So this prevents that kind of immersion breaking stuff like that. Okay, so here is where I enabled alternate world, which enables some of these other options here. And one of them was random characters and shattered realms at the duchy level. So that's key there. I think the rest of this I mostly kept as default. Again, I didn't want to get too crazy. I have done before setting development to tribal as well. So everyone starts tribal. That can be making for a longer game, I guess, just because you really don't have any of the innovations. I guess I just didn't bother with that this time. Charities and governments also default. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, there's a ton of options. Only a few that I changed, but they are pretty integral to our game. So I just wanted to show you. I think I've got some other presets here, like just shattered, so the rulers are not randomized. They're historical rulers. Or tribal shattered and random. So I think that's pretty much the same as what we see here, other than I changed the development to tribal. Yeah. Okay, so thanks for watching. Again, if you're interested in some of these mods, I will link them in the description for you to take a look. They're all on Steam, and I didn't make them, or I'm not involved in making them. So full credit to the creators of those mods, but yeah, check them out if you're interested, and yeah, enjoy the rest of this playthrough.